Hi guys, today I want to make a video about Ebike engine, Bosch performance line CX 85 Newton meters, not a smart system. We will talk about the engine, how it is built and what inside of it. I will make full disassembly and full assembly. Before you start, you have to know that you have to turn around the engine from this side. This side should facing to you. First of all, you have to remove the brackets. The brackets which are holding the engine to the Ebike frame. One bracket here, one small bracket here, and one bigger here. Like this. To untighten the bolts, we have to use this kind of tool, because the bolts are security bolts. After that, you have to remove this bracket, which is here. It's quite tricky. I'm using pliers like this and a screwdriver. So the last bolt is out. Then you take a hammer like this and you start to knock around the cover. It's starting to get loose. Then you take a screwdriver, and on these points here, here, and here, you start to push carefully. You take the cover and the engine like this. And then it's out. What we are seeing here is the top cover, the gasket, the outside bearing, and a small bearing for the gearbox. Then we see the gearbox, the bottom bracket with the torque sensor, the motherboard, and a big wheel which should go out. So we are removing now the security bracket for the wheel. Then it's quite tricky to get the wheel out. I'm doing it by hand without special tool. I'm holding the wheel with the engine and I start to knock. And it comes out. Now we are removing the plastic cover. And we have to unplug the speed sensor. You have to push the pin in this direction. Like this. And then we have access to the motherboard. To get the motherboard out, you have to unscrew four screws. Now the motherboard is free. So this is the gearbox. The gearbox is connected to the rotor of the motor. And this is the bottom bracket with the speed sensor, which is very sensitive, so you have to be careful while you're working and you're removing the parts around it. Now we have to remove the gearbox. 3 screws. To remove this part, because it is connected with the stator and there is magnetic field and it holds this part, you have to prepare such kind of long bolts, and you putting them inside of the holes of the original bolts of the gearbox. The long bolts, by removing the gearbox, the long bolts are keeping the straight direction. So you are taking two screwdrivers and you are starting from this side here and here. And it's out. So this is the stator, this is the rotor, and you have a bearing here. You have many bearings inside of the gearbox. Here one, here one, here, here. You can hear that we have a problem with this bearing here inside. It's almost impossible to change it, but some companies are offering such kind of service. It's quite noisy. Now we have access to the speed sensor. To remove the speed sensor, you have to remove this security bracket here and this bolt here, and it comes out. So to remove the speed sensor, you have to unscrew this bolt here. And this security bracket here. And it comes out. You have a free spin and you have control of the torque. Which is provided via the motherboard and the electronics. And this device is actually getting the support. So we have the other side of the engine bearing here and a plastic cover and the stator. So we are starting to assemble the engine. So the order is torque sensor, bolt, secure, with a ring here, the bolts, the long bolts, the gearbox with a rotor, bolts out. Long bolt here. Two short bolts here. The plastic cover. Sorry, the motherboard. Four bolts for the motherboard. One here, here, and here. The plastic protector, the cables, the connector, and the wheel. To get the wheel back, I prepared such kind of device, which is very simple, nothing special. In order to push those small roll bearings outside to get it back, you need such kind of improvised device. It should fit exactly with the main shaft. And it's done. Then you need this security bracket. So the last stage of the assembly is the top cover. First of all, we have to put this seal back. Then the cup cover comes like this, and this sealant. Then the security bracket. We have here 4 bolts. And the security ring. To get it back, there is a small play in the torque sensor. You have to pull it back in this direction. So I'm using pliers and I'm holding the engine, and then with the pliers. So the security bracket is in his place, and as last I will install the holding plates for the motor with 4 bolts. And we are done. And now we are going to test the engine with a display and a battery. For this purpose I'm using the walk function. So guys, this was my video. Thank you for watching.